Welcome back. Joseph Atewa joins us now on this segment. We'll be looking at the EFL Cup and also looking at the papers. Joseph, good to have you again.
Good morning, guys. It feels great to be back, eh?
Yes, especially after that, embarrassing apology. Okay, the good thing is that...
Well, they did fumble over the weekend, too.
Yeah, that was the goalless one, right? Yeah. That could have been the other way around, the prediction. Okay, and of course, last night, Oxlade-Chamberlain was, on fire, so to speak. He gave them 2 goals, and the one against Reading, it was a no contest anyway, because you can't expect Reading to come to Emirates to actually beat Arsenal. I wasn't expecting that, so it just didn't happen. Maybe we can take a look at the results coming from last night from the EFL Cup, the big winners, and of course, some not too comfortable ones, but the big winners definitely Arsenal are winning 2-0. And the Liverpool and Tottenham, that big game of the night ended 2-1 in favor, of course, Liverpool. Daniel Sturridge giving them the 2 goals. Okay, maybe we'll still be waiting for that. Why are we waiting for that to come? But another one tonight is going to be another Manchester derby, Manchester United, and of course Manchester City. Big
game, no doubt about that, to watch out for Manchester United, Manchester City. But one would definitely want to consider their form in the Premier League. I mean, going into this fixture, Manchester United still struggling. Manchester City, yes, still struggling. Compared to what we saw yesterday in the EFL Club, Tottenham, Arsenal, Liverpool, I think they fielded the youth players. You want to look at it and say, yes, we didn't see those big stars. Maybe for Eric Dier, Tottenham, we didn't see those big stars you wanted to see yesterday night. But today, I think we would see those stars, because look at the Premier League. Manchester United, Manchester City, Chelsea, Liverpool, Arsenal, Tottenham, Liverpool, all still vying for this title. It's a very difficult race, no doubt about that. Now, the only hope for Manchester United and Manchester City, after spending so much, is give the fans at least a silverware, which would be the Carling Cup, the Capital One Cup, or probably the EFL Cup, because the league, you can say it might swing to any direction at this point in time. So we would say the best of the best of football tonight, but don't expect more goals, because both teams definitely will be careful. I think we will see 2 teams trying to defend, maybe some counters and see how it can work out. But my own prediction, after 90 minutes, with what they've gone through in the last 2 weeks, I think Manchester United will edge out on the spot.
Oh, so you're going with United. Okay, Joseph, Manchester City, they haven't won a game in 5, so a couple of draws in there. United, just the 1 win in their last 2 games in the Premier League, and we saw what happened over the weekend where they lost scandalously against Chelsea. Who's under more pressure to win this game? Jose Mourinho, Manchester United, or Pep Guardiola and Manchester City?
Well, I think it has to be Manchester United. They brought in Paul Pogba, no doubt, the highest paid player in Manchester United.
Yeah.
The second highest paid player in Manchester United squad, and the most expensive player in the world as we speak. Yep. So they have to deliver. They've got to get the job done. They were defeated 4-0 by Chelsea at Stamford Bridge. That's a lot to watch out for going into tonight's game. So I think for Guardiola, it's unfortunate that it would be missing Manchester United after the 1-0 draw against Southampton. Look at it and see, yes, it's the EFL Cup. £2 million, that's what has been rated, but I still think at this point the fans don't really care. All they want right now is win the title, and yes, we would celebrate with you. So you look at Manchester United, but I still think you look at the City squad and say, yes, they would push them to the wall, but I think it will be settled on the spot.
Okay. Now, this morning I was actually, listening to Jose Mourinho talking in one of the, the UK medium, when he says, look, for him, it's difficult to actually go out of his house right now, because he's got photographers, journalists camped in front of his house. So it's kind of lonely right now. Maybe the journalists can just give him a little time for him to actually think and reflect on some of the bad results he has had since coming into Manchester. That's on the side.
Does he have a house now? The last time I checked, he was living in a hotel.
He comes outside there.
I'm not so
perhaps it's time for him to get a house.
I still think for United, they've got to get something going in the midfield for me. You have a Morgan Schneider and Paul Pogba and Juan Mata, which definitely costs United £170 million. That's a lot. So I think the midfield, if they get that key player that will definitely supply the needed passes for the strikers to convert their chances, I think United will go places.
So you're tipping United for this one?
Well, I'm tipping United. Only if Pogba or Morgan Schneider, and I don't know who would start tonight. Okay. Whoever starts tonight should definitely get the job done.
Okay, earlier, Joseph, you mentioned Paul Pogba. He struggled a bit. He's had a couple of decent games. But you know how it is over there. if you cost 89 million pounds, expect you to take the ball from the goalpost and go and score for your team. It hasn't happened for Paul Pogba at all this year. He's got the 1 goal in the Premier League, and the pressure is starting to mount. But Jose Mourinho is speaking about Paul Pogba. He believes this guy needs time. He's very confident that Paul Pogba is going to make it. It's going to come good for Manchester United. And he's been speaking ahead of tonight's game against the Man City. And we were able to get, his quote on Paul Pogba when he basically says the problem is not the position. The problem is not tactical system. The problem is, in my opinion, somebody that comes from a different style. So you can understand what they're saying that perhaps that Paul Pogba still needs time to adapt to the Premier League. That comes from a different style of football and needs the time to be at his best level in football. That is really difficult to play, especially for midfield players. I think it goes on. I think it is really difficult to play or adapt from different realities. But he's a phenomenal player. He said, as according to Jose Mourinho, he has unbelievable potential. He has years and years to develop his game, so that the expectation that's the expectation and investment from the club is based on that. He's a super player for the next 7 or 8 years. So, I mean, you think it's just about the transition period for Pogba?
Well, do you think so many United fans will disagree with you because, I mean, Paul Pogba played at Manchester United before he was sold by Sir Alex Ferguson, who definitely
but was a youngster then.
He was a youngster, no doubt about it. I mean, some would say it should be used to the terrain. But you want to disagree with them and say, yes, this is different terrain entirely. It's a different set of players. Now, you look at Manchester United, they brought in a Zlatan from Paris Saint-Germain in France. They brought in a Paul Pogba from Italy. Different players from different countries. They need time to adapt, no doubt about it. But the professionals, you expect them to hit the ground running. But I think for Paul Pogba, yes, don't forget that Juventus last season, the first 8 games, he managed a goal and 2 assists. But at the end of the season, he got more than 15 assists and more than 5 goals. So I think maybe more time you want to say, but I still think Paul Pogba is that player Manchester United needs.
Still the players they didn't. Okay, you can tell that.
You're not very convinced.
No, I'm not. I mean, somebody joked with me and says the best thing to actually hide $100 million, actually put it in United midfield, and you won't see it. That's what's happening to Paul Pogba right now. But then, I know, I understand. I mean, the pressure, he needs to adjust to it. He's coming from talent Serie A at Juve and everything.
Totally different style.
The best coming to a different style. But don't forget, it's youth level. He started with Manchester United and everything. And when he came back, he said, look, I'm back home. So everyone expected him to actually fit in immediately. I mean, what Jose Mourinho is saying is actually coming in late. Maybe if he had said this, maybe he came, everyone, okay, let's just watch. But he didn't say that. He's saying this now, after, since he came. I mean, we've seen him just twice in a game. When I mean twice, you really feel the impact. So I'm thinking, why not bench this £100 million, $100 million, whatever guy? Put him on the 89 million. Pounds, right? That's almost $100 million, right? So why not bench this guy and see what you're going to do with Juan Mata and Michael Carrick and see how you can think out with the midfield. I mean, Schneiderlin is there also. He's not playing. Come on.
But I feel your pain, but you must understand Paul Pogba was bought for more than 80 million.
It doesn't matter. That's what I'm saying. The best way to put a guy like that is in the midfield because we're not seeing him. So if you can't see him right now.
Manchester United will bench Paul Pogba at this point in time.
Really?
After buying him for that amount.
Okay.
They won't. But I think we expect more from Paul Pogba and we fail to understand.
Everyone complained about.
As a midfielder, not a striker, you expect him to get the goals. His duty is to supply the passes, and which he has done. Maybe his last is one player we should focus on.
How many touches has he had? I think what we'll do, we're going to focus on, we're going to look for a day and just look at the touches, the area duel, and all these things we're supposed to do. How much impact? When you have a player like that, I'm sorry to say, when you have a player like that, without the money and the attention and everything, all eyes are on you. So they expect to actually produce that spectacular moment that can actually give the team a victory, which he hasn't done.
Yeah, but then so how do you solve that by putting him on the bench?
What I'm saying is, maybe for just one game, try another tactics and see if it's going to work. Because if you're not winning games, you don't continue with the same team. Remember what happened to him at Chelsea Chelsea, right? He stuck with the same players over and over again. He wasn't getting the desired result. At the end of the day, he got fired. Now at Manchester United, you're sticking with the same players that don't give you the result that you want. You come, you complain and say, okay, some of them mentally were not there. I felt some players would do better, but they didn't do this and everything. And the same player, you're going to play the same players again in another game. So I'm just thinking, have your second 11 and try it out. As if it's going to work.
Out of 38, so we still have 30 matches to go.
Yeah.
So let's still give him that.
Really?
I believe Paul Pogba, Zlatan Ibrahimovic at Manchester United fits.
Yeah, you mentioned Zlatan now. I mean, Zlatan hasn't been in great form at all.
He scored 4 goals.
Yeah, scored. Yeah, after he hasn't scored in about 5-6 games now, and his misses are starting to stack up really because he's missing some really decent chances that you expected striker of his caliber to put away. I mean, do you think, like Cecilia is suggesting about Paul Pogba, do you think someone like Marcus Rashford should come in and play and lead United's attack and put Zlatan on the bench?
Well, with the way the league is going right now, you need experience on all levels. Marcus Rashford, for me, yes, just broke into the scene last season under their former coach. So you look at Zlatan, he has played in some of the big clubs in the world and the best leagues in the world. So at this point, the English Premier League, where you have more than 7-8 clubs compared to what you have in Serie the Spanish La Liga, and also the German Bundesliga, you need experience. Well, some would say Zlatan hasn't brought that to the table, but trust me, at this point, if you bench a Zlatan, now that fear factor doesn't come to play anymore. Zlatan on the pitch gives the defenders a run, for their money. So I think Zlatan still needed, all they need at this point in time is get the right midfielders. Zlatan, Paul Pogba, Morgan Schneiderlin, or Juan Mata, they need to get it right. Who fits into this game? If they and the team, I beg your pardon, if they get that right, I think United will go places, if not win the Champions League.
So Rashford and Zlatan Ibrahimovic.
I think Zlatan.
You say Champions League or Europa League?
Zlatan and Paul Pogba should remain in the starting lineup.
Well, I think Paul Pogba should remain.
How about Zlatan?
Zlatan should remain. Rashford should learn from the bench.
Okay, let's see what's going to happen in that one because